Hello, hi, everybody. So good to see all of you here. We are going to talk about my favorite country. One of the country that I really love the most is Iceland. I did count. I've been to Iceland one time, two. I've been to Iceland three times, and I still in love with Iceland. In fact, this is very interesting. When I first visited Iceland 6, 7 years ago. And that time I only covered the southern part of Iceland. I didn't really go to the northern part of Iceland. So I didn't know how beautiful is Iceland in the northern part. So because of that, I didn't want to sell any Iceland tour. We have not sold any Iceland tour until after the pandemic, where I'm really curious. I want to know what is it up there? Is it worth just doing the south coast, or should we do the round island trip? So I purposely make a trip, during right after the border opened. I visited Iceland. I shot a lot of videos when I was in Iceland. I do Facebook Live even when I was in Iceland. I came back. I said, when we travel to Iceland, we must do a round island tour. Because of that, we came up with this 11 days, 8 night itinerary. And since then, we didn't have any Iceland winter itinerary. We only focus on the spring or the autumn, and with the reason which I'm going to talk about in a little while. So right now, in a short while, we're going to bring you to Iceland. For those of you who are watching our Facebook Live, please comment, please WhatsApp, please comment and please say hi. I just wonder who is watching our Facebook Live. And by the way, who is interested to go Iceland, you can also comment as well. And now, without any further delay, let's go to Iceland. Hi. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about 8 days. 11 day, 8 night best of Iceland tour. Hi, Simon. Let's go Iceland. This is a very interesting itinerary. And this itinerary only works in the month of April, May, September. Even October, I would say the best time to go Iceland is I try to avoid the month of probably until early October, still okay. As we move towards late October or probably middle of October, weather can be very drastic, especially the up north. And a lot of people, they don't understand. Yeah. In fact, I'm so glad that I have a chance to do this Facebook Live, and I have a chance to tell our travelers, if you are considering to do self-drive, if you want to do self-drive in Iceland, I think, personally, I don't really encourage people to do self-drive in Iceland. Any part of the Europe is fine, but Iceland, I really don't think it's a good idea to do self-drive, because Iceland, a lot of people, they told me, but Joshua, Iceland is just an island, right? Why not self-drive? A lot of people don't understand. Iceland is not like Penang. Penang is an island. Penang is safe because there's no strong wind. There's no typhoon. But Iceland, because it's just an island, when the strong wind comes, the wind speed can go up to 20, 30 meters per second. Wind in Iceland is stronger than in Norway. And because it's just an island, there's nothing block the wind. And a lot of people I find very fascinating, because they can consider to do self-drive in Iceland, number one. Number two, they rent the cheapest car, the smallest car, and they did it during the winter season when the wind can be very strong. And they got no idea, because personally, I've done many Northern Light hunt trips in Norway, Sweden, and Finland. I know when the wind comes very strong, how it feels like walking on icy road. And this, we are talking about walking. A lot of people cannot imagine when the wind speed is 20, 30 meters per second and you are driving in Iceland. And for us Malaysians, we got no clue what is icy road, and we got no clue what is considered strong wind. So it's really dangerous. So personally, as a tour company, I find the best time to do Iceland is during the month of April, May, September, October. And because it's safe, the wind is not so strong. Hardly can see any tree or forest in Iceland. That's why super strong wind. Yes, a lot of people don't understand what is strong wind, and personally, I find, and a lot of time Iceland is not is so far away, and every trip to Iceland have to go through a European point. So, for instance, if you go to Iceland, you have to fly either to London or to Helsinki, and from Helsinki, you take another domestic flight. So, or not domestic flight, but another regional flight. We call it. So, a lot of people don't understand. For that reason, you want to do it once, and you want to do it well, and you want to cover as much as you can, and you want to choose the best time to travel to Iceland. For all that reason, that's why we are very cautious in choosing our date. I love the September month, for Iceland, because it's cool enough, it's interesting, and on top of that, is also you get to see autumn colors. You get to see beautiful autumn colors, and of course, April is good. You get to see the spring colors of Iceland. So April, May, September, up to early October, I think still okay. But now let me show you what is so interesting about Iceland. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a round island trip. We're going to start our journey in Reykjavik, and we're going to do one round. We're going to cover the west, Snaefellsnes Peninsula. We're going to cover the north, Akureyri, Midvan. We're going to cover the east, where we talk about Jökulsárlón, Breiðavík, the Dettifoss, and we're going to cover eventually the southern part, south coast of Iceland, where we do the Golden Circle and Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon. It's a full round Iceland tour. It's a full round Iceland tour. Okay, we're going to cover the whole island, and most importantly, we are going to. There are a lot of things to see. I can't wait to take you through. Let's start. Ta-da! First of all, let's talk about Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, Iceland's most famous glacier lagoon. Personally, when I first visited Iceland, I tried the Glacier Lagoon, the amphibian boat tour. I find that is a very interesting experience. That's why I feel a trip to Iceland is not complete without have an opportunity to get close to the glacier. The same glacier that you see here is the same glacier for those of you who are interested in the Alaska tour. When you go on the Alaska tour, you want to see the glacier, it's the same glacier here. But the only difference is Iceland with the amphibian boat, you can get as close as possible to the glacier, to the ice. And the best part is the amphibian boat is only start from the month of early May until September. That's why we always make sure our tours is during this time, so that our travelers get to experience the glacier boat lagoon, the glacier lagoon boat tour. Yeah, now let me show you a video. What is this boat tour about? Wow, what James Tan says is so true. The Blue Cave, the glacier walk is the most adventurous thing to do. I totally agree. It's a brilliant idea, the glacier walk and the Blue Cave. Oh, by the way, for our travelers who are visiting Matafé, please drop by our office. We are opening up our office for 2 days open day, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow as well, where you get to visit our office, get to talk to us. In fact, you get to join me on Facebook Live, and you can ask me any questions on the tour that I present during our open day session. Yeah, and Iceland must do is the Glacier Lagoon boat tour, which I show you all the video. I hope you have a glimpse of how is it like when you go on this Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon boat tour. Next. A whole new travel experience. Our brand promise as usual. Handcraft itinerary with a daily theme. Personal time to explore. Local hand-picked restaurant. Fine selections of hotel. But most importantly, what is the moment of this tour? Ta-da! Glacier encounter. The moment is glacier encounter. I love what James said. Actually, personally, I tried glacier walk the last trip when I was there. First trip, in fact, I tried the glacier walk. I enjoyed the glacier walk a lot. I think it's very adventurous, but glacier walk is a bit too challenging for slightly senior citizens. That's why I find an easier way to do is the glacier cave. In fact, glacier when we do the glacier cave walk, so or the visiting the glacier cave, is also as good as a glacier walk. You really get to walk on ice, you get to experience the blue cave. I think that is good enough for a lot of senior citizens. That's why we actually combine the Yoku Saloon Glacier boat tour together with Katla Ice Cave experience. Yeah, which I'm going to show you the video in a little while. Let's start. Ta-da! Before we travel to the west coast of Iceland, a lot of people cannot imagine, a lot of people cannot visualize how is the city of Reykjavik like. Yeah, we have prepared a short video of Reykjavik city. Let's enjoy the video. All right. First day when we arrive in Reykjavik city, we are going to do a Reykjavik city tour. We are going to visit the Harpa Concert Hall. We're going to visit the Sun Voyager. We're going to visit the 𝐜𝐴𝐞𝐬𝐿, the church. Wow, I'm impressed that I can pronounce 𝐜𝐴𝐞𝐬𝐿. And the best part is we're going to go up to the highest point on top of the church, 𝐜𝐴𝐞𝐬𝐿, to see the view of entire Reykjavik city, which I find that is really a great experience. And on top of that, we are going to give you personal time at the Rainbow Street, where you can do some shopping, where you can experience the vibe of Iceland, have a coffee, have a beer, have a good time, free time in Reykjavik city. First day when we arrive in Iceland, and then the second day we are going to go on the West Peninsula, the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, where we are going to, first of all, visit the most photographed waterfall in Iceland, which we call the Mount Hrafn. This is like a must. A visit to Iceland without visiting the West Coast is really a miss. I highly recommend our travelers who are going to Iceland to look out for the West Peninsula. Very beautiful site, yeah. Mount Hrafn. There's also Arnastapi. There's also the Arnastapi, and there's also another very interesting site, the Black Sand Beach Tour. Next. Yeah, and what I love the most, this is discovered by our travelers last year. Last year, we did a tour to Iceland. I led the tour. And in the morning, when we travel from the west coast to the northernmost point, to the north coast of Iceland, we pass by the Grebodd volcano crater. So we find that, it's so beautiful, so exciting. So we actually have a stop. So we actually go on a short hike up to experience hiking on a volcano crater. Yeah, so this time we include in the itinerary where you get a unique opportunity to witness the raw geological power of Iceland landscape. You don't get a chance to hike up a volcano crater. I think it's like a must. Yeah, really amazing. Next. Oh yeah, not just the north, not just the west coast is amazing. Yeah, west coast alone, there are a lot of nice places that we'll do a stop. We'll take one full day to cover the west coast, and then from there we're gonna drive up north. We're gonna visit Akureyri, the second capital of Iceland, which is also the capital of the north of Iceland. A trip to Iceland is a big miss if you don't get to visit Akureyri. Personally, I felt Akureyri and Reykjavik is two different worlds. You know, to our human logic, personally, before I visit the north coast of Iceland, I used to think the south coast itself is very dry. The south coast itself is filled with acres and acres of lava field. I always thought to myself, if the south coast is already so dry, when we travel up north, when it's even more remote, the weather will be more drastic. You will have less chance of seeing green, right? You'll be more snow. You'll be more what you call that, more barren, right? To my surprise, when I first time touched down in Akureyri, I thought it's in Switzerland because Akureyri is totally different compared to Reykjavik. Akureyri is green. In fact, there is a botanical garden that filled with different types of plants and flowers in the north, where nothing grows in the south, which I find very fascinating, right? That's why I highly recommend you, all our travelers, to visit Akureyri. In fact, what makes Akureyri very special, Akureyri is in a city in between two mountain range. Is actually by the shore of a fjord. Akureyri is so beautiful, so amazing. It's definitely a must for those who visit Iceland. Next. Of course, in Iceland, we're going to see the top 5. We call it the big 5 waterfalls. Start with the Goda Falls. Goda Falls is a 30-meter wide horseshoe-shaped waterfall that's separate. Basically, it's a horse. Admire the 30-meter wide horseshoe-shaped that separate the waterfalls into two. Okay, to make it easy, they call it the Falls of the Goddess. Yeah, Goddess Falls. Goda Falls is actually a very amazing waterfall. Every single waterfalls that you see in Iceland has got a different character, different view, different scenery. I love Goda Falls. This is one of my top favorite, and I find it very beautiful. This is the waterfall that's only that you're able to visit when you travel up north. Yeah, you're going to visit Goda Falls. You're going to visit the town of Akureyri or the city of Akureyri. Next, you're going to visit Lake Mivan. A lot of people don't understand. Yeah, why is the north a must to visit? And a lot of time, I find very sad to do Northern Light Hunt tour in Iceland is because if you do Northern Light, you have to go during the month of November till March. And when you go from November, if you visit Iceland in the month of November till the month of March, you are going to go when everything is white. And you are going to go during the most drastic time of the year where the weather can be very challenging. So if you travel to Iceland in the month of November to March when the weather is very challenging, chances are I don't recommend you to go travel up north because weather up north is even more challenging. Wind in the up north is much stronger than the south. That's why a lot of people that travel to Iceland during the month of November to March, they stay most of the time in the south coast, which you are going to visit again during the month of spring or autumn to see the green or to see the autumn colors of Iceland. So personally, I find either you do 2 trips, one time in winter, one time in spring or autumn to Iceland, or you do it during the spring month or autumn month and you experience the full Iceland tour. To me, I find that is a better chance of better experience because you can do Northern Light. It's the same Northern Light hunt whether you do it in Norway, Sweden, Finland, or you do it in Iceland. So why not do Northern Light Hunt in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and in Iceland we do during the springtime. Either you do it in April or you do it in September, which I think is a brilliant idea. Yeah. Oh, yes. 2023 is a very, like I mentioned just now, doing a Northern Light Hunt session. James post here, 2023, the first Aurora started last month. Can you imagine? You can see Northern Light even in the month of August when the daylight is very long. Again, the same Northern Light in Iceland is in Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So it's your choice. But for me, I find Midvan is also very interesting because in Midvan, they have a special landscape and it's called pseudo cradle. And to experience this pseudo cradle, either you go to Midvan or you travel to the moon. It's the same kind of pseudo cradle. That's why Lake Midvan is a must when you visit the northern part of Iceland. And what I love the most is, a lot of people who live in the north. Recently, I still remember, not recently, 2 years ago, during my second visit to Iceland, when I visited the north, I found something very interesting about people who live in the north. People who live in the north, they are living in the area that is very, what you call that, volcano active. So in order to keep themselves safe, they have to always park their car with the front facing the door, so that if there's any volcano, they can run straight away. And in fact, they always pack their clothing. They have one full set of clothing right outside their doorstep, where if there's any volcano, they can run straight with their luggages. So, and yet there are 30,000 people who live at the north. They love the scenery in the north. They love the nature in the north. They cannot live elsewhere. That's why they love the north so much. That's how beautiful the northern part of Iceland is. Next. Of course, we're going to visit the most powerful waterfall in Europe. By the way, Dettifoss is not just the most powerful waterfall in Iceland, it's also the most powerful waterfall in the whole entire Europe. It's the water, and in fact, it's the top 3 waterfall in the world. Top 3 waterfall in the world. One is Rhine Falls in Switzerland. The second is Dettifoss in Iceland, and the third is Victoria Falls. And of course, the fourth is also Niagara Falls. These are the 4 biggest waterfalls in the world. And most importantly, when it comes to Dettifoss, it's the strongest. It's the most powerful with the biggest volume of water. Yeah. Next. Hi, 𝐶𝐤𝐿𝐸. Iceland Aurora sighting. When is the best month to go? Generally, Kelly, generally to see Northern Light, the best time to go is November till March, because that's the time where the daylight is the longest. Yeah, sorry, daylight is the shortest. Day is the shortest. Night is the longest. You want to go when there's a strong. What am I talking about? You want to go to ice. You want to go when you go for Northern Light hunting. You want to go when the night is longest. Like for instance, if you go in the month of September, sunset is at 7 o'clock. Yeah, but if you go in the month of we are going to Iceland with EE this month. Oh, Jeannie, you're going on Iceland trip. Fantastic. If you go in November, sunset is at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. The longer the night time, the higher the chance of seeing Northern Light. So if you ask me, Kelly, the best time to go Northern Light sighting in Iceland is to do it in November till March. But you need to be very careful with the weather. Yeah, weather can be very challenging during that time as well. November sunset is about 5:30. Yeah, it's about 5:30. In Reykjavik, when you go up north, probably 4:30 as well. Come, go with EE. Wow, thank you so much. And by the way, another very interesting place in Iceland that you must visit is the Blue Church and also the Rainbow Street. Yeah, this is in the south. This is in the east coast of Iceland. This is also another new site that I discovered during the last trip with our travelers to Iceland last year. We discovered picturesque Blue Church and Rainbow Street. And this church, this particular place is also filmed in another in one movie in Hollywood by the name of Almighty. It's a very beautiful sight. In fact, I saw one of the most beautiful autumn colors when we are on the way to Blue Church that I have never seen before in Europe. The scale of their autumn colors in the month of September is amazing. You know, we are talking about when we drive past the mountain range with all the autumn colors, with waterfalls, and the moment we arrive in this place, the Blue Church, the scenery itself is also very amazing. I love this Blue Church and the Rainbow Street. Why Rainbow Street? What they did is, in order to attract travelers to come, the cheapest way to do promotion is to color the street with rainbow colors. And just by doing that, every travelers rush there already because they want to see the Rainbow Street. Next. Oh, when you are in Iceland, you can't miss this. This is a diamond beach. This is where when you visit the Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, all the ice are being washed to the beach, and there are a lot of ice by the beach. That's where we call it a diamond beach. Next. Oh, this is also very interesting. The canyon where Justin Bieber filmed a MTV. Let me see if I can pronounce this. Yeah, 𝐈𝐜𝐿𝐴. Okay, 𝐈𝐜𝐿𝐴. Something like that. Yeah. It's actually a very beautiful canyon. We're going to visit this place as well. Every single word in Iceland has a challenge when you pronounce it. Okay, next. Oh, I love this. One of the most amazing experience when we travel to Iceland. Another must-do experience is the Katla Ice Cave, the glacier encounter experience. I actually prepared a short video. How is it like? Because a lot of people ask me, Joshua, how is it like visiting the Katla Ice Cave? Let me show you a video. Yeah, that is the Katla Ice Cave experience. We are going to take an MPV, not MPV, we're going to take a 4x4 Jeep. And with the 4x4 Jeep, we are going to travel on the off-road. And then we're going to get so close to the ice cave. And then we're going to walk into the ice cave. The experience is fantastic. And you get to see this blue ice cave. And the only thing I cannot promise you is, how is the ice cave look like? Because every year you can see that the ice cave is retreating because of global warming. Every year there is less and less ice cave, and further and further away is the ice cave. And sometimes you get to see big ice cave, and after a few months the ice cave disappeared, and then they found another entrance, another ice cave. So it's always an adventure going on this ice cave experience. Next. This is the Renisfera Black Sand Beach. It's also a very interesting site. This is by the south coast already. This is part of the Golden Circle experience. Next. Skogga Falls. This is one of the big 5 waterfalls in Iceland. This is very interesting waterfall, because with this waterfall, you can actually climb inside and you get to see rainbow, because when the sun shines onto the rainbow, so when the sun shines onto the waterfall, you get to see beautiful rainbow. Always in dilemma. I want to join Aurora tours, but my hubby complained that the daylight is very short during the year end. Any option to still see Aurora but still enjoy long daylight? Can we put yeah, I agree with you. I find this is the hardest thing to do. When it comes to Iceland, you want to see Northern Light, at the same time, you want to see what you call that, hi, Florence, so good to see you. You always enjoy EE trip. Thank you so much, Florence. I really thank you for your support. And, in fact, it's true. You want long daylight, And a lot of time, you want to see Iceland in green. Trust me. A lot of people don't understand. No. Those days, how Iceland get the name Iceland is because the Vikings, they travel to Iceland and they find Iceland is so fascinating when everything is in green and they don't want people to come. So what they do is they name Greenland, so that everybody travel to Greenland, and they name Iceland, so that they can keep Iceland to themselves. I'm not sure it makes sense to you. That's the reason why Iceland get the name Iceland. You want to see Iceland in green, but not in ice. So I highly recommend you to go in the month of September. Personally, I prefer September month because number one, you get to see everything in green. Number two, you get to see autumn colors. Number three, you get to do all the experience like Yoku Saloon Glacier, Lagoon Boat Tour, Ice Cave. And then the best part is September, you also stand chance of seeing Northern Light. Not as high as winter. I need to be very clear. Yeah, for those who go during the month of April, I don't think you get to see Northern Light. April is really not a good chance. But September, yes, September the chances is good. But at the same time, if you see, it's a bonus. If you don't, you get to enjoy Iceland and you have a full scale experience. And Northern Light, you can also consider to do it in Norway, Sweden, Finland, because it's the same Northern Light. A lot of people don't understand. They thought in Iceland you get to see different Northern Light. In Norway, Sweden, Finland is another different type of Northern Light. Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, you are seeing the same sky, same Northern Light. The only difference is the experience. Yeah, Skoga Falls is amazing. It's a lovely waterfalls. Next. Of course, glacier, geothermal. This is where you can see the water shoot from the underground until probably 40-meter high. It's an experience that you must see in the South Coast. The funny part is, what we did last year is we brought the group, travel the West Coast, travel the North Coast, travel the East Coast. Everywhere we travel, we see very few tourists until we arrive in the South Coast where all the tourists are there. That's why we still find the northern North Coast is more amazing. At least it's not so commercial. Next. Blue Lagoon is a must. I always love to end the tour with Blue Lagoon. After you travel the whole Iceland, the final part is enjoy a Blue Lagoon, have a good, relaxed experience before we fly back to Malaysia. Definitely worth a visit. Next. You get to try a lot of Icelandic food, gourmet food. I find food in Iceland is also very amazing. I love Icelandic food. Next. The hotels are amazing. A few hotels that we include in our itinerary, I love their breakfast place. Not only they serve very good breakfast, their breakfast has got amazing glass window where you can see the nature. And I always find that's the beauty of Iceland hotel. Because Iceland hotel is not about how beautiful inside, it's how beautiful outside. All they have to do is they just have to build very big window while you're having your breakfast. You can feel the nature. That makes Iceland very special. Next. Beautiful destination in Iceland, Reykjavik, Akureyri, Midvan. These are all beautiful places. Yeah, every single place is unique, is beautiful, and you only get to see this in Iceland. Oh yes, lamb shank. I love the lamb shank in Iceland because they have the very fresh lamb. Their lamb is their lamb is all the animals are grown in Iceland itself, where is the most organic food that you can taste. Next. Thingvellir National Park. This is their first national park. Is also their what you call their first parliament is held there as well. Vanayuko National Park. This is where we do the Katla Ice Cave. Next. 5 most spectacular waterfall. I always call it the big 5 of Iceland. Skoga Falls, Deti Falls, Gold Falls, the Golden Falls, Goda Falls, Seyelen Falls. These are the 5 waterfalls that you must see when you are in Iceland. Every single waterfall is unique. Next. Oh, this is a best part, where we get to reminiscing our last trip. Last trip, we traveled to Iceland. We get to, this is the photo on the top. This is Midvan. See, the photo on the top is Akureyri. This is the town of Akureyri. The one on the left is Midvan, where you can see the pseudo cradle. The one on the right is the Fayalufol Canyon. Okay, that is also an amazing sight. Next. When you're in Iceland, you must try their lagostin. They have the best lagostin in. I'm not sure is it in the world, but they have very good lagostin. Really amazing. I love the lagostin where you have lobster soup, the lagostin. And the best part is one of our, so our upcoming tour will have some of what you present today. Of course, you have everything that I present today. Everything that I said today is what you're going to experience. And Jenny, please tell me how it goes after your trip. Yeah, looking forward to hear from you. And the best part is we are going to have one lunch in the farm itself. You see, this is what I mentioned just now. Yeah, imagine all a restaurant have to do is they don't have to decorate inside very nice. In fact, a restaurant that is decorated nicely inside in Iceland is a very sad case, because Iceland outside is more beautiful than inside. Look at this restaurant on the top left. The whole entire wall is built with glass. So while you're having lunch, you can see outside. You can see a farm outside, which is so amazing. Next. Oh, this is Godafoss, the one on the bottom. Godafoss. The one on the left, that's the restaurant that I mentioned. Outside is farm. You can see all the animals. This is where everybody start taking photograph of the cow, and then the waiter asked me, you don't have cow in Malaysia? The cow in Iceland and the cow in Malaysia is the same cow, yeah? It's just that when you are Iceland, you see, this is another part. When you are in the south coast, you don't see green like this. You don't see a farm with cows, because in the south, nothing grows. In the north, you can see green grass, you can see farm, which is amazing. And that's a Kechufell. That's the Arrow Mountain. Next. That's on the top, we do the glacier boat tour. On the right here, you have, how blue is the ice cave? Look at that. And we are taking this trip as well. We're going on the Yokusalun Glacier boat tour. Next. Blue Lagoon. We did the Blue Lagoon. We are a very crazy company. Yeah. For Iceland, we only have one tour this year because we want to have it in September. Next year, probably we have a few more tours, but only in September. We'll do it in September, or probably we'll do early September, try to do late August. And then the best part is we will finish off probably by mid-October, because we want to go during the best season, best time of the year. Because you only go there once, we want to pick the best date for our travelers who want to experience a full Iceland experience. Next. Oh, and that's the best part. Last trip, we are so blessed after all the beautiful autumn colors. Look at on the right here, you can see, yeah, behind the blue church, you can see the beautiful autumn colors. We get to see beautiful autumn colors, and at the end of the tour, we get to see northern light as well. So let's take northern light as a bonus when you travel to Iceland. Like for this tour, I told them, I said, let's try. If there's northern light, let's go. We saw once out of our 8 nights experience, which is good because we get to see beautiful green, we get to see autumn colors, we get to see beautiful waterfalls covered in green, and we get to see northern light. What else can we ask for? And we get to go to the north where we see beautiful scenery. We get to see this blue church with the rainbow street. Next. Jeannie, except the northern light. I cannot promise you the northern light, yeah? But we hope, let's keep our finger crossed, yeah? These are the northern lights that we see. And we see northern light outside our hotel. That's our hotel that we're staying a night. And that's me holding Easy Europe logo. Now, officially, I do Northern Light Hunt in 4 countries, not just 3, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and also Iceland. My goal is to cover all. Next. Done. And most importantly, let me show you a short video. How is waterfall light in Iceland? And guys, we have 2 more days, yeah, where we would like to invite all of you to come to our office. Please join us in our office. Come on our open day, get to meet us, get to say hi to us. Enjoy the EE hospitality. Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, we are open. Our office is only 5 minutes away from Mata Fair, yeah, guys. And every single person who visit our office get a special EE 2024 travelers booklet where you can see all the beautiful sight in the booklet. Yeah, enjoy short video and see you tomorrow.